Today we here with a first generation American that owns 53 units. If he could do it, you could do it too. Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm here with my man Terrence, and we are in Hickory, North Carolina. It's about an hour away from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I had to come out here because Terrence owns 53 units. This actual building he owns, plus a daycare in the back, which was insane to me. But before we get into the story, let me say this. He is first generation American, and he's third generation real estate investor. How does that happen? We're gonna hear the story. Terrence, man, thank you for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Terrence, right, we're in this building. Even from the outside, it stands out. You told me it's historical, but when you said it, I was like, yeah, I can tell this is historical because the brick character and everything that you have going on, which is, pretty nice. But all right, what people want to know is, where did you grow up? How did you grow up?
I grew up in Delaware.
Okay.
I am the oldest of four. And my dad's from Pittsburgh, and my mom is an immigrant from Jamaica. So definitely have some good stories, growing up.
When did you come down to the Carolinas?
We came to the Carolinas in 2015. My sister, she went to school at Lincoln, Pennsylvania, or Lincoln University.
Yes,
and
PA.
playing the CIAA. So we have been coming down to the Carolinas for a while, and definitely just like the vibes down here.
Yeah, if you missed CIAA in Charlotte, you missed out. Yo, CIAA in Charlotte used to be crazy. I moved down to Charlotte in 08. I was doing CIAA since 07 because somebody in Jersey told me about it, and I came down, and they used to be wild parties day and night. But so back to the story, all right? So you was visiting. When did y'all officially move to Carolinas?
We purchased out in the Carolinas in 15. This was the property that we purchased. It just kind of popped up on the radar. One thing about us is we try to reflect, right? Like just try to learn from our mistakes. I grew up in Delaware. My mom is from Brooklyn, New York, and her family had always been into real estate investing. So just looking at kind of opportunity, this Hickory's like in between Greensboro and Charlotte. So it definitely fit the parameters. We like to be within an hour of two developing metros, and so this popped up on the radar. We came out and looked at it, and kind of the rest is history. You
said your mom's dad did real estate as well, mm-hmm. So let's take it there, right? So did your grandfather, or your grandparents rather, did they do real estate in America or in Jamaica?
Did real estate mostly in America, in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, because the reason why I say that is the history in this country of, there was two sets of civil rights that came down. I want to say 63 and 68. And the second set of civil rights, it allowed us to buy real estate in places if you could afford. African Americans buy real estate if they can afford it. And the reason why they said if they could afford it is prior to that, our white counterparts were giving government loans. They were giving suburban housing. They were just giving this stuff, they had to work for it. Then after that happened, you had redlining and everything else. However, your immigrant grandfather was able to, in the 70s, maneuver around Brooklyn to buy property in Brooklyn and become owners of property in Brooklyn. Did he ever tell you stories about how he did it? Was it hard? Was it easy to get turned away? Did he ever tell you any stories like that?
So my grandfather, rest in peace, he died in 1996. So I don't remember a lot of stories coming personally from him, but just hearing and having conversations, one of my favorite things to do now is talk to my grandmother about kind of how she got started, the things that they had to face. And one thing that they always put into us, instilled into us as a family, is no person can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. It's mostly about, working hard, being dedicated, and then building relationships with people. And those relationships don't always have to be with family, don't always have to be with people who you identify with. Sometimes those relationships may come from people who look nothing like you, come from a place that is nothing like you. So it's just about being personable and working hard.
Do you know how much he accumulated in Brooklyn?
I would say I can't give you an exact number, but I know at one point in time he owned 4 multifamilies in Brooklyn, and not the duplexes or like quads that people probably are thinking about.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
In terms of multifamilies, I'd say those units were anywhere from 12 to 25 units, and they had about 4 of those at one point in time.
Okay, all right. So I have 4 of those in Brooklyn. So was he doing real estate full time?
He was my grandfather was a tradesman. He was like a superintendent, and so opportunity came because of that skill set. He was able to do everything from plumbing to electrical, woodwork, and so he was in real estate, but not necessarily as an investor. It was relationships that kind of taught him and gave him opportunity to become an investor, and so he worked in real estate, but not as an investor.
So when you say opportunity, like who said, hey, listen, I'm gonna sell you this building?
He worked for a synagogue, a Jewish school. Him and my grandmother, my mom and aunts, they lived above this building. And if I had the story correct, I believe the opportunity came from the same people who were employing him. You know, he built a good relationship, and they had wanted to get out of Brooklyn for whatever reason, and allowed him the opportunity.
Okay, so they said, hey, let's sell this building for you. Now, they own and finance it to him, or was it bank money?
I'm not
You're
sure.
Not sure
yeah,
now?
I'm
Okay.
not sure, but you know, it's definitely very possible, just given all the different hurdles that were around back at that time.
I don't know when Brooklyn turned hardcore, but I know in the 90s, Brooklyn, when I was coming up, Brooklyn was like hardcore. It was rough and rugged, you know, the Brooklyn bully way. You know, they was getting down in Brooklyn. Yeah, like you knew, like, yo, at night you don't go to Brooklyn because, you know, Brooklyn was different. Right. You know, now fast forward to, you know, apartments are now $1 million plus condos. You're getting sold as $1 million plus condos. It's gentrified. They got the Brooklyn Nets and all that, which I feel a way about because I grew up in the New Jersey Nets. So they took my team and, you know, went to Brooklyn. From them doing it, obviously your mother seen that. So did your mother? Did she started investing in real estate?
Yeah, so she did so in a very casual way, not anything like what she had seen growing up. She had purchased a couple of single families. Her and her sister had bought a couple of investments together, but definitely not on this type of scale. As far as like seeing the changes, I think for someone like her and someone like us who have seen that over time it's definitely like a heartbreaking situation to anybody who gets displaced, but it also kind of is like a light bulb went off to like, man, this is what happens over time. Over time, this is something that happens, and so how can we put ourselves in a position to not be a victim of what's going on? So that's really kind of what pushes us to that.
When you grew up as a teen, did she own property then, or?
Yep, she did. She
Okay.
owned actually a small multifamily. She still owns it actually in Delaware. And that was some of my first like early exposure and really like seeing real estate investing. I remember as I don't know if it was for fun. I know she definitely paid me, but I ended up painting like her whole rental. I ended up painting the whole thing, just painting it white. So some stuff like that, and then picking up the rents. I'm thinking at the time that I'm protecting my mom. My mom is going to go handle money, so I'm thinking as a 15, 16-year-old, let me go and make sure that nothing happens to my mom. But really what she was instilling in me is like what it's like to be a landlord. You got to pick up the rent, you got to deposit it, you got to make sure it's all there, and then you got to follow up if it's not paid. So yeah, she definitely owned real estate when I was a teen.
You, at the time, you like, oh boy, or I'm just protecting my mom, whatever, but she was instilling those lessons that money can't buy. Mm-hmm. And she had you working, you paying units and stuff like that. She paid you too, which was nice, but she had you paying units, putting in that labor. So she was prepping you for what you would eventually become. Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely in a way. And it's funny when they hear this, they're going to laugh because I don't pick up. I'm not the paint guy and the hands-on guy today. That's my brother. So my brother's the one that definitely is the one putting that elbow grease out, and definitely shout out to him.
Let's take a look at here, man. But first, let's start with these floors, man. These are some beautiful floors that you picked out. And for those looking at this, if you're wondering why you use these floors, this is a luxury building. Like, you got to have a key card to get in. So this ain't nothing where anybody can get in. You know what I mean? Like everybody can't come. You know what I mean? This is on the higher side of rent. And what we're gonna do now is cool. We going to a unit.
But yeah, the floors, man. There was some wood floors that was down here, and it was real squeaky. And my mom, she couldn't walk through here and hear the squeak, so it had to go. We're from New York. Our history is from New York, so her idea when designing this place was really just trying to bring a New York feel to this Carolina area.
Ooh, okay. My boy got stainless steel appliances.
Yeah, granite countertops. We just ended up refinishing the cabinets, trying to give it a comfortable space and a different different feel since you're in a smaller area.
Yeah, and I see that you tiled up the entranceway. You got modern lights in here. Now, is this unit a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom?
It's a 1-bedroom.
All right, 1-bedroom. So let's see what we got here. We have your living room, obviously your TV right there, and then you have your bedroom. Wow, it's a nice sized bedroom.
Yeah. And it has a nice pass-through, so there's a barn door that allows us to walk through, but custom closet, nice bathroom, decent sized space definitely for the people who are living.
For a 1-bedroom, it's definitely a decent sized space. This bedroom definitely bigger than my 1-bedroom in my apartment, and you got a walk-in closet. I think I did have a walk-in closet. It wasn't as big as this though, but.
And you got the bathroom here.
Nice bathroom, updated. Yeah, new vanity. You did a good job. Who picked out the finishes?
My mom does most of the finishes. Yeah, she does. She'll handle most of that.
Okay, all right.
She went to school for interior decorating. It's a passion of hers, so she enjoys that part of this process.
And you got the glass doors in the bathroom, which I like.
Yeah, nice little touch. You put it on like frosted glass, give people like that hotel feel. Let them feel like they're being
like they're a home away from home. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So yeah. 53 units here, man. You guys bought this in 2015. Mm-hmm. You're third generation, so this stuff runs in your blood. You guys move as a family unit, which you don't see that as much with African Americans. It's based on the laws. Like laws that happen, things that happen, and things that were normally traditionally passed down to African American families versus, because if your parents grew up in a town, majority of African Americans live in the South, and they grew up in the South under Jim Crow, they were not given certain information. So if you don't know, you don't know. But when you know better, you do better. So obviously your family, your grandfather getting around the right people, had the right skill, and we talk about that a lot on my channel. I talk about that a lot at the Duru Squad, durusquad.com, which is basically just with my students, I talk to them like, yo, you gotta put yourself around the right students. Yeah, having this course, the right people, having this course is good, but I want you guys to get accountability groups and all that so you can talk, because when opportunities come, it's normally passed around in that circle of preparation of people who are prepared.
For sure.
It's not like, it's not gonna be passed around to the random guy walking down the street. And he might be prepared, but they just don't know because they're not in the know. You guys bought this in 2015. How much you guys paid for this?
This was 1.1.
1.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, and for 53 units. So obviously you guys knew that was a good deal.
Yeah, I think at the time there were some skeptics. Definitely just being in an area that's unfamiliar, people not really knowing, New York real estate's a lot different, right? In New York real estate, people are, the values are going up. You can kind of pretty much hang your hat on appreciation. When you get into these markets, it's a little different. So
a little different.
Did everyone know right away that this was a good deal? I won't say that, but I will say, yeah, we definitely felt strongly about it because 53 units plus it also for the 1.1 had a commercial parcel property that was attached. So I thought it was a slam dunk for sure.
Okay, let's talk about that property in the back, the commercial property in the back. We went by, I was like, man, what's this, a school? Like, are we at the right building? So, all right, we were walking back there and it's a daycare back there, right?
Yeah, daycare, uh-huh.
So if I rent from you, I can actually have a daycare on the property.
Yeah, if you're renting here, you have children that are up to school, right before school age, daycare is right in the back. It's something that it was already operating as a daycare when we purchased the property. Long story short, that daycare didn't work out just because of state regulations. They didn't meet the standards, and so we end up actually opening up a daycare on site too. So the daycare is still operational, and Yeah, it's nonprofit, and it benefits our entire community, especially the people who live in the building.
You're renting out 53 units in this building. The daycare is separate, right? That's separate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you get income from that as well.
For sure.
Wow. Okay. This was a home run. We bought this for 1.1. Now, how much did you say you spent in repairs?
Repairs, I would say, is probably between $600,000 and $700,000.
All right, $700,000. All right, we're gonna use the high number, right? So we have 1.8, guys. How much would you say this building is worth today?
On a conservative side, I'll say $5 million.
God.
On a conservative side.
Golly. Woo! That made the countryside come. I said, golly. You went from 1.8 to 5 mil, 2015, we in 2022. That's 7 years.
7 years.
All right, so the people watching this, right, I want you to think about something. All right, and just answer this question in the comment. If you don't feel, you just answer to yourself. You probably worked a job for 10 plus years, or you know somebody that worked a job for 10 plus years, and they not a millionaire. Like they're just not. It's not it. Like they don't have it on equity, they don't have it on paper, they don't have it on cash flow, because I can show you people in Charlotte, and an article just came out in Charlotte, whereas you need you have to make at least 61,000 to afford a 1-bedroom in Charlotte. It was 61 or 63,000 to afford a 1-bedroom in Charlotte. Now, I say that to say, right, I know people, they have master's degrees, and they're probably making around 50,000 and barely getting by. They have to stay in the relationships. But what they did, they made an investment, turned the investment around, not only created 7 figures in equity, but you get cash flow. Like on a gross cash flow, like how much would you say this makes?
Probably just under 500,000 for the year.
So just under 500,000 for the year. All right. So you make $500,000 a year in the meantime, and your tenants are paying down if you have debt, or if you don't have debt. But you pay down that, and then as the economy gets stronger, it grows. The equity grows. All right, on paper. So this is the benefits of real estate. And this is why you should get into real estate, because that job, what happens, right? Like when you quit, they just refill the position. You pass, they refill the position. There's nothing passed on. There's no wealth being built. Either you're getting paid from labor, whatever that labor is that you're putting in for that particular job, that's where you get paid from. Whereas he gets the cash flow, he gets the number. So if he wanted to go back to the bank and cash out, he can do that with that number. But he gets the cash flow. He can cash in the equity if he wants. He can sell it and move on with his life if he wants. But he has multiple options, and you want to put yourself in a good position, because options are a beautiful thing. All right, Terrence, so this is what we would call a home run deal. Would you say this is a home run deal?
I would say so.
For somebody who wants to get started, like, what would you tell them? Like, they want to get started with multifamily. They want to be like the Terrence family, because obviously your grandfather, starting with your grandfather, he changed the dynamics of your family. Your mother did the same thing with you. And you have any kids?
Yep, 2.
All right, and I'm sure you're gonna do the same thing, with them. Do you have them cleaning this up and mopping?
My brother does that. So my brother's like I said, he's the elbow grease, and you said about getting started. I would say start small. This was not something that happened overnight. It started with a duplex, and over time, just gradually making better decisions, getting around good people. I always laugh and say, if my grandfather was alive today, if him and my grandmother were in their prime today, because of the internet and the access, it would be crazy. We have access now to so many different resources. So just start small and stay dedicated, and you're gonna have to make sacrifices. It's definitely part of the name of the game, is sacrifice.
Now let's talk about sacrifices. What sacrifice did you see your parents make?
First sacrifice, I would say something that I think about probably daily, is growing up, we lived, it was in a 3 or 4 bedroom house in Brooklyn, New York, in Flatbush. It was my parents, my cousin, and their kid, my cousin and his parents. And so he has 2 sisters. So 5 of them, 5 of us, my grandparents, and then my aunt and uncle who had another kid. So we had total living in this 4-bedroom house. We had about 16 people living in this 4-bedroom house. The 5 of us, all cousins, right? We used to lay in a queen bed. We'd lay side by side so all of us could fit with 2 blankets at the most. And we did that for a while, and that was just some of the sacrifice to get to the next step. So sacrifice is definitely something that I saw firsthand from them. It wasn't about having everything in the moment. Sometimes you got to wait for it.
For those who are thinking, oh, he grew up like this, he grew up like that, whatever, his parents had to make sacrifices, right? So that work ethic and passing down sacrifice, that's the most important thing. The money, the assets, that's cool, but I'm sure, and if you're from a low income neighborhood, I'm sure you've seen somebody inherit a piece of real estate, inherit a life insurance policy or something, no matter where you at, but you didn't know, you didn't look at it as, oh my God, they got this, because they blew through the money, they walked away due to back taxes, they didn't pay the taxes, they lost the house to foreclosure. It was just something where it's not talked about because they just messed it up. However, his family understands sacrifice. They obviously value education. Formal education makes you a living. Self-education makes you a fortune.
That's a gem.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, it's gonna take sacrifice. I had to sacrifice. At one point in my life, I turned off cable, right? I had no cable, stopped listening to music in my car, all that, stopped partying, all that, and just would put positive information, real estate information, read real estate books, work my real estate business. I haven't made $1 from it yet. I just got a vision, I got a plan, and I'm hoping. But I did those things because I wanted to get where I wanted to go. Wrapping the video up, Terrence, people are going to want to get in touch with you. How are they going to give out your social medias? How do people get in touch with you and all of that? Okay, so, and you got the car business, man. Plug the car business. Yeah, I need some cars, man. Holla at my boy, bro.
Yeah, if you need a car, hit me up. I don't want anybody to get taken advantage. I sold cars for 10 years before moving full time into real estate. But you can find me on Instagram, PSPG, Problem Solvers. Problem Solvers get paid, so that in letters, Terrence Clark, and that's how you'll find me on Instagram. And I always open my DM, so send something over and I'll get back with you.
All right, so let me say this to you, bro. Carl, if I got some bad credit, can I come see you? Or my credit gotta be good?
Nah, I mean, I'm gonna help you through your situation. My whole thing is really just to expose where you're at and then help you make the most informed decision for yourself. It's very different when you go into the car dealership, just putting it out there. The people at the car dealership work for the dealer, and so I just wanna help on your end work for you. So just about being informed, and we'll evaluate all options.
Okay, all options. All right, and that's affordable cars, luxury cars, everything?
Any cars.
Any cars, exotic cars too?
All cars.
Okay, so you can get me the Lamborghini truck. You could get me that before December 1st if I wanted to?
You ready to do it now?
I'm definitely not ready, but if I was ready,
I definitely have contacts in all types of cars, exotic cars, even the cars that you would see at the auction. So.
You know it's a shortage on that Cadillac Escalade EXV, right?
It's a shortage on everything right now.
It's definitely a shortage on everything. All right, so it's definitely a shortage. But anyway, the more of the story, you're gonna reach out to my man. He does the real estate, but he also has the car business. So you can support him if you're in the car market right now. He can make sure you won't get taken advantage of, and make sure he gets you the best deal possible. Guy at the dealership works for the dealer, and just to tell my story, bro. When I was looking for my car in Charlotte, I couldn't deal with nobody in Charlotte, bro. It's like they were all in cahoots. Like, oh, this guy's stupid. We about to get over him, bro. What I'm paying for an X6, they were trying to put me in an X4. I didn't ask for an X4. I didn't even want it. They were just like, nah, this is what you got to get. Like, huh? Yeah.
I feel bad because I probably know some of those guys, but it's one of those things. Definitely get informed before you go. I could definitely help with that. And then also I'm really focused on single family acquisitions right now. So any investors that are looking for volume acquisitions, I definitely specialize in that. I have been focused on that the last 2 years. So
there you have it. I want you to reach out to him, man. Comment below, man. Multifamily is something you want to get into. Any questions you have for him, you can comment below. But make sure you follow him on IG. But just comment below. And is multifamily something you want to get into? Do you want to change your family's generation, or do you see this changing your family generation and generations to come? And remember, it's not about handing off the asset, handing off the money. You got to hand off them lessons. So that's the most important thing, man. Also, I'm Nasa, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a doer because I actually do this business. So click on that video next to me, and check out my man with the multifamily. Peace.